Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I'm gonna go over some Dark Ranger Marksmanship stuff for single target this time. Yesterday I uploaded the video for Mythic Plus that everyone really liked, so be sure to check that out if you're doing Mythic Plus. But for this one we focused on single target raiding, and it's gonna be relevant for most of the bosses in the raid. I'm gonna be basing this video on a Muxy pass I got yesterday on our first re-kill. It was a quite strong rank 1 for Marksmanship hunters by a reasonable margin. And it was also with no PI, so I thought like I played it pretty clean, so I think it can be worth making a video on it. So let's have a look here. So let me just go back to the beginning here. So first of all, for opener stuff, now actually what happens here is, which is quite frustrating, is I accidentally ninja pulled the boss because there was a bug tonight where when you Hunter's Mark, for some reason, it claims to fire an auto shot, but you don't actually see one going through. In any case, the boss gets ninja pulled. Don't do that. Let's just pretend that it didn't happen, because the opener I actually do is the correct one. So as Marksmanship Dark Ranger, for the opener, we always precast aim shot. Then we go straight into a black arrow. This black arrow will be affected by precise shots, which came from the aim shot that we just cast, so it does pretty hefty damage. Then we follow it up with a rapid fire. This activates in the rhythm, which is the buff that improves the amount of kill command procs we get. It also sets us up with full focus for when we're about to pop our cooldowns. Then we pop our true shot, our signet, our potion, absolutely everything together. And the goal here is, the general idea and rule of thumb for true shot is that pretty much every true shot you should send in every single scenario should start with an aim shot. So here we go. All right, now we're into the mode of basically praying for procs. The idea here is that we alternate aim shots, and then whenever we get a proc of a black arrow, then we send a black arrow with precise shots. If we don't get the proc with black arrow, we send the arcane shot. Now, here comes one of the big problems with marksmanship in general, which is that you don't know if you'll get a black arrow proc until after your your aim shot cast is over. Now, during our cooldowns, the cast time of aim shot is a little bit shorter than the GCD. This means that we get a little bit of time at the end of the aim shot cast to basically check if we got the black arrow proc, and then we can react to it and hit it. What I like to do generally is, as I'm casting my aim shot, I'm actually matching my black arrow key, sort of anticipating that I get a proc. And then when I don't get a proc, I go back to hit the arcane. So it's a little bit like weird to get used to. It's probably like my least favorite part of the spec, but this is how we're just supposed to play it now. Because it kind of sucks if we get a black arrow proc that we need to spend with precise shots, remember? But we accidentally send an arcane shot instead. Outside of true shot, there's just nothing to be done about this. But inside of it, with the shorter aim shot cast time, we can sort of anticipate with the black arrow proc a little bit. So yeah. Another thing here is, for explosive shot usage, as you can see here in the opener, I actually get a 4-piece proc, a lock and load proc. And you'll see that my explosive shot weak aura, courtesy of my Hunter weak aura pack linked in the description, is glowing orange. Essentially, just like we discussed in the Mythic Plus video, the rule for single target explosive shot usage is when you only use explosive shot when you have a lock and load proc. And it's essential that you use the explosive shot right before you spend the lock and load proc, just like this. Explosive shot, and then the aim shot. And then we get another lock and load proc. Of course, for this one, we're not going to have explosive shot, and that's completely fine. We just skip that part. What you'll also see here is, in this scenario, we have both a black arrow proc, which looks really juicy, but we also have the lock and load proc. But remember the rule that we only ever cast black arrow if we have precise shots. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna hit the explosive shot, then I'm gonna hit the black arrow with the precise shots. Then I hit rapid fire, I get another black arrow proc. This is a rank 1, it's pretty decent RNG, right? Aim shot into black arrow because I know that I had it, right? Yeah, like 3 procs in the opener is obviously quite helpful. This scenario, I don't get a black arrow proc, then I just hit the arcane. And now we're just sort of in the general rotation. So what am I doing here? Aim shot and aim shot and rapid fire are off cooldown. Whenever we have a precise shots proc, or precise shot stacks, it's not really a proc because you always get the stacks after hitting aim shot. We always use them with a black arrow. We never press black arrow without having a precise shot stack. and the precise shot stacks are generated by aim shot. So very often, like when we have a proc like this, it's just going to be get to an aim shot, then aim shot into Black Arrow. When we have nothing to do, we just have steady shot. Steady shot is actually a reasonable, valuable filler because it fills in, like, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it gives us more aim shot CDR, right? So, you know, having good uptime, having a lot of steady shots to bring down the cooldown of aim shot is actually quite potent because aim shots are ultimately what's generating both death blow procs for Black Arrow, but also generating the precise shot stacks that we need to send those Black Arrows. Now I'm coming up to my CDs here again, making sure my focus is topped, and once again, as we discussed earlier, we always want to start every single true shot with an aim shot. True shot also gives us a guaranteed Black Arrow proc when we use it, so it's always going to be like true shot, aim shot, into Black Arrow in this case. Now I don't get the mechanic here, so it's all good. I'm sort of disengaging while my rapid fire. You see here, even though I had to do a big move, I lost no damage from that move because I made sure that my rapid fire was going off through the disengage. Now, once again, I'm just praying that I get some procs on my here. One thing here, this is a Moxie specific thing. So here I actually send an explosive shot on single target, but it's not really single target, right? I see that this electroshocker is just about to get broken by the finger gun, or rather it already is broken. So because it's actually technically 2-target cleave at this point, I do send my explosive shot followed by an aim shot, which is now glowing orange in my Vigor pack here. And that's because the single target build here runs the talent precision detonation, which means that if we aim shot while there's an explosive shot debuff on a target, it's going to blow up instantly for extra damage. So just a little bit of a min-max here. But other than that, my rotation just continues. Get a Black Arrow proc here, aim shot into Black Arrow, can do nothing else, so a steady shot. As soon as I can aim shot again and cast still, I do so. You notice that, like, I'm always spending the time where I'm not hitting aim shots on moving, getting into a better position, so that I don't end up in a position where I cannot aim shot because I'm having to move. So movement managing is a fairly big deal here. So I'm in this quadrant, I'm going to disengage to get the speed buff for some soaking. And at the very end of the time spiral, I always cheat it, just make sure I get the value here. This is like a 4-minute push strat on Moxie. You may or may not be doing this in your own groups. Like a few extra ticks there because I'm greeting. It is farm after all. Aim shot into Black Arrow here, get a proc. So what I do here is, once again, I see the extra mob up, explosive shot into aim shot, get the extra explosion, get a little bit of extra damage going on that ad. I've run out of absolutely everything, so aggressively steady shot, bring back that aim shot, hit everything off cooldown, steady shot again when I can do nothing, aim shot into Black Arrow proc that I had. Now once again, so this cooldown I'm going to hold. Now why do I do this? So the idea in this strategy is that it's slightly difficult to push to 40% in time. But on the other hand, Moxie also has an execute phase that's pretty tough from 40% to 0%. Now we were pushing, this was our first night doing the strat on a reclear, and we were generally having an easy time pushing the 40% provided it was a clean pull. So instead of using an extra CD in this phase, I hold it for the lust that's coming up later. Now just for this mechanic here, for the boots mechanic, I'm just hugging real close to the fire and the gateway. As soon as I recognize I get it, I go in, I clear, I grab the gateway instantly, and then I just tug in behind here. And as soon as I get the opportunity to stand still, I'm aim shotting again, right? So let's just show down. So by being so aggressive on aim shots and stuff, when I do not have when I do not have any mechanics or anything, I'm actually in a decent position here. Like, even though I get this mechanic that's gonna take me across the room, and I cannot aim shot for a bit, I end up in a scenario where I can just kind of comfortably cast steady shots, and I'm probably not going to cap aim shot too much. So let's see what happens here. So I'm just since I'm moving, I'm just spamming steady shot. As soon as I can stand still, I'm hitting aim shot, and you'll see I actually don't end up capping on my aim shot charges, even though I just had to do such a big move here. And that's because I'm generally so aggressive on casting aim shot when I don't have mechanics. So, people talk a lot about movement and how it affects MM, and it does affect MM a lot more than BM, but if you play smart, you can often, because most mechanics that affect your damage can be anticipated, right? Here's another thing. So we popped the lust here early, at 43%, even though the push is at 40%. I pop my CDs with the Lust. I think that's a mistake in hindsight. I should have held this this true shot for the moment that the for the moment that the boss actually hit 40%. So minor mistake there. But in terms of like rotationally speaking, it's really just all about praying for those procs. Now, here come the charges, and these are the most movement-intensive parts of the fight, and you really can't negotiate. Like, if you lag behind, you will easily die here, so you really cannot greed. So how do we get the most out of it as MM? Step 1 is be as far along the charge as you possibly can. Know which direction the boss is going to spin in. On Mythic, this is always like a locked thing. It's going to spin like, you know, clockwise and then counterclockwise and then clockwise again. So I know it's going to spin this way. So I'll go over here so that like arguably a little bit too close to this one so that I can sort of chase the boss here and still weave in all these same shots as you can see. And you can see, even though we had to move quite a bit there, because I pre-positioned well and stuff, I basically lost no damage from doing so. Then, now I know that it's going to go in the opposite direction and it's going to spin counterclockwise, so I go to this side. And here, you know, I'm a little bit blocked in by this. Ideally, it would have been closer to here, but it ends up being okay. I get the aim shot off. And here, I think I have to be, I kind of sneak this aim shot through. Agreed a little bit. So a little bit of damage lost there from movement, but not too bad. Same thing here. Here, I'm a little bit behind. So I'm just using, here I think I didn't handle this too well. I probably handled this the worst of them. I was trying to catch up on lost time on the aim shots here, and I end up having to move really aggressively here. I do technically get to my aim shot before I cap, and then I get a lock and load proc, which is quite helpful for movement here, because that whenever you get a lock and load proc and you have an explosive shot ready, that's basically 2 free globals of just like where you instant cast, so aim shot into the explosive shot into the aim shot here. All right, now I'm getting to my quadrant here. Once again, just tunneling this boss. And I'm sort of ready to grab any kind of bad soaks. And I'm always praying that I don't get the Frost Shatter Spear mechanic here. It's just super annoying to get. Luckily, I don't get it. So as soon as this mechanic goes out, I'm just hugging along this wall, making sure I'm not in the way of anything or anyone, while just continuing my single target rotation as we've discussed. Get a lock and load proc here. Aim shot into Black Arrow. Now, what happens here is I end up sending... So here I send an explosive shot into the boss because I thought it might be close enough to explode an explosive shot onto one of the goons. I don't think that ended up being true, so I wouldn't copy that part. Another mistake I do here is I send a true shot now, and it's kind of paranoia. We had a pretty rough time re-killing this boss for the first time. And I see the boss is pretty low. We're actually fairly clean. There's 22 seconds until my signet. And so the question is, do you hold for the signet, knowing that you will only get one more true shot in this fight? Because that's definitely the case. The time to die timer on the boss here is 1:11. I just figured I want to get, I was just focused on killing the boss first of all. So my logic was just, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a DPS hit here, but I know that I'm going to get a clean true shot out, even though it won't have the signet. In hindsight, I should have just held the true shot for the signet and done the mechanic then. And I would have maybe done a little bit more DPS, but you'll also see later on, right now, I'm just fully able to just do my single target rotation. There's pretty much no mechanics happening. Whereas later on, it will be a little bit more hectic for me. But yeah, pop true shot, aim shot into Black Arrow, and now we're just praying for some procs. Remember that as soon as the boss is below 20% or above 80% HP, I can hit Black Arrow off cooldown. So I don't need the procs to happen. I mean, I still need the procs to happen to cast them, more often than cooldown. But even without a proc, I know that every 10 seconds I can cast a guaranteed Black Arrow. That's that true shot window over. Alright, so now the finger gun is going this way. My health is a little bit low, so I think exile here, making sure. I pop my signet here. That's probably also a bad idea. I should have done it until after my soaks here, because now I'm about to do sort of the hunter job in this fight, which is to soak these. Now, as I make this video, for a long time now, these bombs are a little bit bugged when they haven't had particular CC on them. And their explosion point is actually a little bit behind them. So I'm taking this into account. What I'll do is I'll turtle, I'll walk into the back of one of them. Here they kind of stack up, and I really hope that I got the opportunity to like blow them up both at once. That would be really nice, but that doesn't end up happening. What does end up happening, however, is that it refixates on me. And so as I get knocked over here, I see that the line is on me. I line up my disengage, and I disengage straight backwards. And I hit, this point behind it, and that blows it up. Then, as soon as it's blown up, I can't, while I'm still floating in the air, I cancel my turtle, and I hit the black arrow proc that I had into the black arrow, and I just continue my rotation, getting some really juicy procs here at the end. And yeah, so my main regret here is, well, the thing is, right, so I could have held my true shot until this moment with the signet, after I had done the mechanics, but the boss time to die is 20 seconds and rapidly going down, right? So I think, even with hindsight, I think I played it reasonably well. I could also have popped the true shot, here, but then I would have had to do my turtle soaks during true shot. So I think I handled this cooldown situation about as well as I could have. Yeah. But yeah, it's very important. Don't be in turtle for a moment longer than you have to. As soon as my soaks are done, I cancel the turtle, and then I continue doing my rotation even while I'm midair. Yeah, pop my remaining defensives here. I just pop Survival of the Fittest because, there's nothing else to use it on. I think at one point here I will health pot. At least if I get at a health deficit. I think we just kill the boss here. Move along. Hit the explosive shot because I'm moving. It's not going to go off in time, and that's the fight pretty much. So, fairly clean rotation even on a hectic fight, plus good RNG. That's how you get rank 1. So pretty reasonable run overall. I hope this was useful to you as someone who might be delving a little bit into Marksmanship Dark Ranger. If you like this sort of content, let me know in the comments below. And also let me know what other sort of commentary videos you would like to see. And if you really like what I do here, maybe check out my Patreon, where you can get personal hunter coaching from me, where I review your logs kind of like I reviewed myself here. And you also get access to my Hunter Week Aura pack that you see here in the middle, which basically has everything you need to play perfectly. Until next time, wish you all a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Peace.